Okay, Brock, this is going to be kind of a short look at your updated video that I got. I'm just going to give you a glimpse on what we're going to work on this summer, just highlighting again, the back leg, what the action's doing with your back foot, intent when you're in the beginning of your motion, and how that's affecting the end of your motion. So basically, from the side view, it looks like you've been trying to get to the ball of your foot better, so I can tell that that's happening in this video from the back view here, where you're shifting to the ball of your foot and then kind of pushing off of it to try to get your heel not to slide in first is what it looks like here. But there's just one thing here. When we're talking about the thing that we're going to focus on the most for your velocity this summer, it's about force production in the ground and you moving efficiently away from that rubber. All right, so if you picture the slope of the mound as you get, the shelf, and then it starts to go at an angle all the way down. You want your body, your entire body. So if you drew a line from your head all the way down, okay, if we're talking about this right here, our center of gravity, we want that entire unit to go at once down the mound explosively as efficiently as it can. Okay? And so there's something that happens in the beginning of your motion that you've done for a while that we're going to focus on, and that is that right when you get to the top of your leg lift on both angles here, you're going to see that your weight's going to shift to the knee on the backside is going to start to rotate in. It's going to start to bend in a little bit. It almost looks like you're sort of sitting down or shrinking down a little bit. And at the same time that's happening, you're trying to get the front hip out, which is correct that you want the front hip to lead. Okay? So from the side view, it looks like this. You're going to kind of lean out a little bit with your front hip. It looks like you're sort of poking your hip out because you're emphasizing getting the hip to lead down the mound. And this is true that you want the hip to lead down the mound. The problem is when you try to focus on leading the front hip down the mound and you sacrifice the angle or the lean of your center of mass, meaning when you're trying to poke your front hip out, you're leaning back with your head. And the second that you lean back with your head, you drift to the inside of your back leg, and you basically have an anchor, a slowing motion down at the middle of your motion. So when we lean back with our head right here, the head's going to slow us down when we're starting to drive down the mound. Okay? You'll see right here where you're angled back with your head as you're driving. Okay? Now we want the head to lag our belly button slightly as we go down the mound, but not a lot. And so that's slowing mechanism number one, basically, in your motion. The second thing this does is when you poke out your front hip, no matter how much you focus on that back leg angle, that stuff we were talking about last time you were with us, it's going to be very hard for you to achieve that angle because as the hip pokes out, the knee drifts in. So from the back view, I was showing you how this looks like you're sort of sitting down or shrinking down. Well, what that is the back knee right here. It goes from a strong position, starts to lean in. So watch right here. You're going to start here. You're going to lean into right here. What that's doing is shifting to the inside of your foot. So the knee is going to have a hard time stabilizing over your ankle as you're driving down the mound because of this beginning mechanism here in your motion. So when we get rid of that and we teach you how to basically maintain posture here at the top of the leg lift, so everything that you have at the top of the leg lift where your head's just right over your belly button and you're tall, and then you just simply focus on your hands sort of coming down to your front leg and your front leg staying up as you're going forward. See right here how your front leg is now down and my hands are separating low, which is how they should separate, okay? But my front leg from the back view here, so as I break my hands on the right side, you'll see my front leg right here could be up a little higher. So if I left my front leg up higher, my hip has no choice but to go first. And I don't have to lean back in order to accomplish that. I can stay right over my belly button with my head. I can allow my front leg to stay up longer as I bring my hands down to it. And then when I separate and I go, everything is in sync with each other. So my upper body and my lower body are moving together. My angle with my back leg can happen without me thinking about it. and it allows me to move at a greater pace down the mound. So watch the pacing here of the motion. You have a smooth motion, but you're going to see that you can move faster just in general. Right? It's smooth. Everything's put together, but you know, the speed of it, the intent of it, from right here to the time you get up to the top of the leg lift. So from here down, we want to pick up speed right there. We want to move faster. We want to get under a certain time limit from the top of our leg lift down to ball release. And that's going to happen when we get rid of this slowing of your motion with your head lean. So I hope that makes sense. That's going to be my main focus with you this summer, man. That's going to be the biggest gain for you from a mechanical standpoint.